Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, where we are still in the temporary studio, but don't worry, another week or two we'll be in the main studio. So that we're looking forward to, and we've got all types of new backdrops, and advertorial's going to be much better. There's lots of things that are going on. Superstar Raymond, what they call him? Spielberg, yeah, Raymond Spielberg. He's working flat out on
give me the green screen.
His production's right, all the production moves. That's what's going on.
It's looking magnificent down there. Yeah. You and I stuck our heads in and painted everything green. So reminds me of a few
things.
The green
machine.
Oh, the green machine. Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely. So that'll be good when we get into
Can we talk about
rugby?
Talk
about green. Let's talk about envy. What's the story with your side, Jim?
Who?
Arsenal. Don't say who. That's your side. Arsenal. No comment. Take the fifth on Arsenal. I don't blame you. They're so erratic. Let's talk about Liverpool.
Good, let's talk about Liverpool.
They should never.
That idiot Lovren, he didn't really push him, but I tell you, as soon as he put his hand on him, he's died.
There were a lot of different opinions. They slaughtered.
The London Playhouse should employ some of these guys for theatricals. They're unbelievable.
Not a Man City, there was a lot of diving. But it just go. Liverpool are very good. They don't concede much at home. But Wayne Rooney came home to roost.
I was pleased for him.
Me too. I was pleased for him.
At the end of the day, I felt for the Liverpool supporters because although I can't stand them, they played the best game and they deserved to win.
Yeah, they were the much better side. They played seriously good football and it just didn't go full right for them. But that's football, the derbies.
What happened with, I see Harry Kane woke up from his little slumber that he's been in.
People say slumber, he's never a slumber. He's leading, well, he was overtaken by Salah. Salah's gone to top of the Golden Boot log.
That goal of Salah's was unbelievable.
Oh, he's a great player, Salah. Great player. But then Harry Kane is a superb player in all departments. He's gone to 12. People have a go at Rooney and saying he's 12. Rooney's in about 8.
You know what I love about Rooney? Rooney works.
Yeah,
he works for the team. He never stops running. You see that some of the players we have, Giroud especially, he sort of wanders around with his hands up in the air.
That's when he's on the bench.
Yeah, when he
when he comes on, he scores. Doesn't the Frenchman see eye to eye with Arsene Wenger?
Yeah.
James, let's talk about Mourinho.
He got
same excuse. He blamed the ref.
He got milk thrown on him in the tunnel.
I didn't know about that. Well, that's not sporting. He was very sporting throughout.
Just to cool him down because he was fuming.
Well, that's not sporting.
All he's looking for, Mourinho.
His team weren't that bad.
They were not in the same league as the other team. For the home team,
Lukaku should have equalised.
For the home team to be on defence most of the game, which is what they were.
Well, Spurs had them on the back foot there, but that's where they played.
That's the point.
They're bus parkers.
They're the bus parkers, yeah. Mourinho's waiting to go to PSG. That's all
James,
he's looking
give me his credit. He put 3 attacking strikers on from the jump, and he tried to get out there and make a game of it. And Man United are a good side. Okay, the league's 1 to 25 now, Man City.
If you put 3 strikers on and you have the other 7 guys or 8 players backing up inside your half of the field, the poor 3 strikers are only going to come back and help you defend because that's what happened.
Yeah, sure.
Lukaku did stay up, but he can't get back fast enough to go and defend.
James, Man United not a bad side. They're a good side. They're second in the log. They're clear of the rest. I just made
they're better than a whole lot of bad sides.
Yeah. Interesting comment by the commentator of the Merseyside derby. He said, how many players on the Everton side could get into the Liverpool side? Yeah. And they agreed, just the goalie. Because Liverpool goalie is, he's thrown more in than anybody else. He is murder, she wrote.
He is bad.
Spurs, my beloved Spurs, 5 could have been 9. They were very good.
They blow hot and cold. When they look good, they look good.
They don't get beat by much. So they'll be touched of 2-1 thing.
They get beaten by bad sides. And,
we just get beaten by
Who's
the bad side who's beaten them, James?
AC Milan beat them.
AC Milan didn't
1984.
Who's AC Milan? An Afrikaans team. AC Milan. Sounds like a horse whisperer.
Didn't you see them in 1984?
Milan.
Yeah, Milan.
Milan's a horse whisperer. AC Milan. Andre Gert Milan.
That's his team. Milan's team.
Is that his team, eh? You see why he's a horse whisperer? He's got time to look at horses, not watch football. But anyway, James, let's talk horses.
No, before we talk horses.
Oh, what team? Sevens.
Rugby sevens.
Yeah.
How did that go bad?
A great first day and a struggling second day. The win in the quarterfinals was to be commended, coming from
Very
21-5.
commended.
21-5 down. But then against the All Blacks, they had every chance. They were leading 12-5, never got a point second half.
It just like they went to sleep, or they just
Yeah,
tightened up a little bit.
I don't know what it is. They can't do it at home.
Yeah.
I thought
And
the Canadians are improved side, Jim. They
played
gave us-
really well, the
yeah,
Canadians,
they-
yeah.
Canadian, Argentina, and Americans were very good.
They're sides to watch down the line.
Yeah.
They've
So-
learnt. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting to
But
be a
to
very...
get beaten by the New Zealanders again is really sick.
Well, they'll
At
top
least
the
it
lot
wasn't
now.
Australians.
No, the Aussies,
Yeah.
Bruce and his boys,
Yeah.
they're not too bad.
Not too good either.
So that's the story, Jim.
Yeah.
Horses, any sales this week?
Sales.
Let's
Yeah,
sort of
you-
check with you. Just yours.
Yeah, just mine at this
Is,
moment.
is everything on song to sell all your horses?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's
Tech,
done.
equipment, walkers,
Yeah.
everything.
We're just getting all the stuff out of there. We've
Your
got
car?
all- My car? No, my car
No.
can't sell.
Well, you got that's right, the bank owner.
It's got
No,
it's got no value. It's got a lot of water in it, so you know.
But it goes 200 kilometers
Yeah,
over a cliff.
Yeah,
You know, that chariot of yours. Can you believe it?
yeah.
Yeah, Jimbo's selling everything. 16th up at Summerfeld, hey Jim?
Summerfeld, 10:30 in the morning.
We've got a little ad. We'll play it later.
Yeah,
James,
we
a
will.
little ad.
Yeah,
let's
have a
hope
look
you
later.
get the
But
money
it's
you're
a
looking
very
for.
sad week. Anyway, my last run is on Wednesday. But before that, let's go and have a look at 3 to follow, and certainly not one of mine. Right, let's go to the Vaal and have a look at what transpired there on Thursday. We start off with the first race, and it was maiden plate 1,200 meters. And Roy Magna's been training a lot of winners, and State Trooper looks like he'll add to that list very shortly. Let's go and pick him up at the start. The son of Captain Al, bred by Maritz Fontaine and Wilgerbos Drift. He was a 700,000 Rand yearling. There he is in draw 5. He's got a sort of white face, and he's got a black cap with the yellow colours. Comes out pretty well.
Yeah, it's a decent run, James. This is a smart debut because Sharkaholic and King of the Bay show speed all the way in the race, and this horse comes from off them to get a blow, and it's a sparkling run. He's a captain now. He's bred by Wilgerbos Drift and Maritz Fontaine.
Yeah,
There's a lot to come.
He's owned by one of our the Eastern patrons, Mr. Chung, who's been very, very supportive
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
racing here,
Yeah.
and he deserves all the winners he can get. And this might be
He might have a very nice
a really
horse here.
nice horse on his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharkaholic wins it, James, and King of the Bay. They sort of get the race to themselves. But would he be 4th or 5th now running on?
Yeah, he's got the black cap with the white face. He's about 5th or 6th there, and he
Yes.
starts running on. He runs a really good race to run second, and he's out of a Fortwood mare, so you'd believe that there'd probably be a bit more stamina in it. But he's got a good action, this horse.
Yes, nice
And
horse. I thought he was going to win here, James.
Farney Chambers gets to work on him, and just greenness gets the better of him. But I thought this was a really, really nice run from a horse that looks like he's got tons of ability. You know, the winner had the form. He's a Schwazier,
it's a hit.
Australian Schwazier.
Yeah.
You know, you can't find better than those. I think that what happened was that Michael Leaf might have bought the mare in foal.
Okay.
And brought her over here because it doesn't have Oz behind its name, but it's definitely by Schwazier out of a red ransom mare. Might be quite useful. So that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
We're going to move on and go and look at Greyville, the first 2 races. We start with the first race, 1,200 meters, a maiden plate. We found Dennis Bosch's first timer here, an 8-fold path. And these horses are doing pretty well. They're really coming along
they're
nicely.
getting along nicely. So some eye-catching runs, James.
Yeah, bred by Scott Brothers. There's out of a Jabal Tarek mare. That's proper Scott
That's
breeding,
proper
isn't
Scott,
it? You
yeah.
know? Jabal Tarek, they won't like to hear his name mentioned. But anyway, he produced this one that looks like could be quite nice. Let's go and have a look at it at the start. Drawn widest of all, 14. And
Yeah, very green from the jump. You'll see when they get out the gates, it goes towards the ML Sultan car park initially. And there it is on the outside. The rider, top rider, Keegan de Miller, just sitting quietly, giving it a good introduction. The winner's the grey horse, who's sort of second on the right, if you look across there, in club colours with Anthony Delpeche. Interesting to note, too, Sean Terrier, the runner-up here. King's Command, also an unraced horse, James, on the fence in the yellow silks about 4th. A good run, too.
well, when you look at the 2 runs, that's why we picked out the third horse. King's Command has everything in his favour. He's on the fence, in the right place. And this other poor horse racing 3 or 4 wide. towards the back, made up a lot of ground just to get beaten. He gets a smack there from Keegan de Mello just to get him in the game. He's got the check colours and the red sleeves. You'll see him come out now with a white face.
Yeah, he's very green, eh?
Yeah, very, very green, but it really runs on nicely. He gets rusted along a little bit now and doesn't really know what's going on. He's certainly not going to run in the first 6 at this stage.
Yeah.
The winner goes past them. It's been a professional maiden for a long time, but it did look like this was its race. And here this horse runs on really well. Terry's horse is in second, but watch the way this Eightfold Path runs on. Really nice introduction. And they could have some fun with a horse like this at the Alamanza team. We then move on to the next one, and we go to Greyville, race 2. 1200 metre, maiden plate for the girls, and this filly, Forevermore, had a barrier trial. She ran 6th in the barrier trial, but it was a particularly nice run, and she ran pretty well here. She showed the experience of the barrier trial made all the difference to her, and that's why these barrier trials, you've got to watch them, because
the winner
of the barrier trial was the
Lawman filly of Robbie Hill. Very smart.
Yeah.
He gave the barrier trial, stepped it up in distance, and won well.
Yeah, and this horse was 12-14 to 1. Watch the way it runs. Just shows you come to the racecourse and have a gallop makes such a difference. Let's go and watch it.
Yeah, the hot favourites drawn 1. Their Trap 5 is our horse that we've mentioned. And Marcus gets away very well on the eventual winner, Flamenco Dancer. That's in the inside, and Mario Ferreira's colours. But the horse who we found is very pacey for a debut horse. As James alluded to, all the experience from that barrier trial, it's now out and gone. And it gets the favourite slightly off the bit at one stage. So it's a very good debut. It doesn't hang on for second, but I was very impressed with this debut, James.
Nice looking filly, bred by La Plaisance, Mrs. Plattner's outfit, and she by give me the green light out of a Zabeel mare. Well, you'd think that she'd get more. She looked like she just needed the run here, but the barrier trial gave her the experience. Look at her, she zoots away, and Gareth Wright gives her a smack there, and she's right in the race. There's no chance of her not running right there because of the experience.
It's a very good debut, James.
The winner wins well. It had shown that it's got the ability. The racing was very fast. The tailwind and the course was, as you can see, quite quick. A pentrometer of 21. Horses weren't making up ground. So this was a good run, and certainly you'd think of it. They'll slip this back in a 5 at Scottsville. I think that you can beat it. I think that you can be with it. That's one that I'd certainly like to be with. 3 good ones to follow, and we're certainly going to move on and see what shouldn't happen, because there've been some interesting things over the week in the news about this shouldn't happen. I've seen a Jockey.
We've got a clip to show the public later of a very good run.
Yeah, let's go and have a look at this shouldn't happen. And just for you, the people, there are a lot of bunny huggers out there that think that he might have turned up his toes and we're putting on something that's not pretty right to see, but he's just having a kip.
That's all it is. He's dossing,
it's like the parrot thing with John Cleese,
Monty Python.
Monty Python.
Yeah, turn the parrot. Well, this guy, he's got this horse to say its prayers. It really is a good shot.
Just having a kip. But
Just
you can watch a full unabridged version on YouTube, Gold Circle YouTube. You'll see the little clip that goes with it. So that will lay you nicely at rest as far as that horse's resting is concerned. Just talking about that, we've got a couple of clips during the week of jockeys that have nearly fallen off horses.
Yeah.
Have we got that later on?
We've got one later on, yeah. I see this. One guy's done it 3 times for 2 wins in a second. And you can see how he hangs on. I don't know how he stays on.
Unbelievable.
He must be useless over the jumps. Because the horse is just turfing, but he hangs on.
One of them won on one of O'Brien's horses, the son. What's his name?
Joseph?
Joseph's
or
horses,
Jamie?
yeah.
Or Joseph?
No, Joseph. Yeah, Joseph's horse. Anyway, we'll see that all later.
We'll show you one later,
We'll see that all later. Let's move on and see what we've got in Plum of the Week.
Hadarat's got about 3 lengths to make up the centre. Meraki's also starting to run on. Winter's Tracer's got about 7 to go. African Messiah as they come to the final 400. Now Doyle starts to set out after him. Hadarat's got about 2 lengths to go. Meraki towards the outside. Here comes Doyle's coming home strongly at African Messiah towards the outside. Meraki. It's Doyle's come to the front as they come to the final 150. African Messiah towards the inside. Meraki also trying hard. But Doyle's is going on to win the 4th of the afternoon well. And Doyle's an easy winner. Hadarat trying hard, and in behind that, Hot Summer flew up late. But Doyle's has won it from in behind that street fighting man. Then came Hot Summer and Hadarat.
Well, after his first run, we put this horse up as a horse to follow, one of the 3 to follow. And really, he looked like a horse to follow. He came out next time. He was hot favourite over 1,400. Now, 7 furlongs is a specialist distance. This horse is going to go all day. He's by High Chaparral.
Yeah. James, High Chaparral is one of the world's top stallions at the moment. And you've got one for sale, haven't you?
Yeah, we got that filly, Lady Val. She's going up on Saturday.
Dollars.
Well, she should go. She should go some money.
She's done 3rd and 1st, hasn't she?
Yeah, but she's got in her pedigree. She's the dam's a sister to a horse that O'Brien ran in all the big Group 1s last year, called Intelligent Cross. It had won a Group 1 and a Group 2, a Group 2 and a Group 3 already. So, but
Doyle's named after the Bloodstock brothers.
Absolutely,
the brothers, father and son,
yeah.
Peter and Ross, 2 international Bloodstock people, great guys.
Great guys. This one, this could be a Derby horse. Yes, I would think that you'll see that this will be aimed at the Cape Derby. Yeah. He's come on. And that's what happens with High Chaparrals. They only improve, especially if they've got some stamina in their pedigree.
What was the betting on this horse? I think it was 9 to 10.
Interbet, you could have got 14 to 10 about this horse. In fact, he went 15 to 10 at one stage early on in the betting. But unbelievable price. When you saw this horse's second start, I left him alone. I said, no, not the time to back him. This is the time to back him. And Anton Marcus on him, well, you know what? You knew you were going to get the best out of him. So it was great for them. Jay Ramsden started a very good day for him, and we're going to be looking at some of his others later. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with current affairs.
Whenever anyone asks me for a shrewd tip, my first response is always to tell them, open an Interbet account. That's the biggest certainty that I can give any punter with total confidence. Not only is it a good business, but it is interactive, exciting, and great entertainment as well. My name is Snowy Brown. I'm a sports fanatic, and I'm all about sports betting because of the unpredictability, the enjoyment of the team being the underdog and finishing first, or a team scoring the winning goal in the last seconds of a match to be the victors. The beauty about this is that if I'm betting on the soccer, I can use in-play betting, which allows me to bet across multiple areas of the game. Knowing I have full control of my betting spread and where my money goes gives me satisfaction that Interbet has given me the power to control my bets. In my opinion, Interbet were the pioneers of online and Mobi betting in South Africa and will continue to lead the way. Interbet, where the professionals bet.
Right, we got lots of very interesting news in current affairs, and let's go and have a look at the Sting.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Current Affairs. And James, good adverts. It's coming up time for the Gold Coast. They've got their January coming. I think it's about the 12th, 14th around there.
14th of that week of the 14th of January. You've got to get yourself organised if you want to go to this sale. And go and have a look at the Sting. Go to the Magic Millions website. They've got the program. It's about 17 pages of what's going on. The polo interested me because Francesca Comani is playing. I'd like to get up and close and personal. But her husband, Rob Archibald, is a six-goaler. He'd knock your head off if you start getting a bit clever with her.
He's a what? A six what?
Six-goaler.
A six-goaler,
Yeah, yeah. So he's pretty
That's
good.
better than Harry Kane.
Yeah. No, much better than Harry Kane. Harry Kane's a beginner compared to Rob Archibald.
Rob Archibald. What's his surname?
He married Francesca Comani.
Gee, he must be a good-looking boy.
He is a good-looking boy. He's a good polo
Six-goaler.
player. And she plays polo in this.
How many goaler were you?
5.
And the twins?
They were 8.
They were good
7
players.
and 8. Yeah, they were much better than anyone. Much better than me.
Okay,
anyway.
Jim, there was only one race around the country, stakes race, the Southern Cross Stakes, but there was Highland Reel bowing out in Hong Kong. Some good racing in Hong Kong, but that's the race we've got to show people. What a racehorse, Jim.
Well, the point is that we had Smart Call running in the race, and the race held up to the front runners. It was the racing in Hong Kong. All the horses that were right near the front
racing.
had a chance. Yeah,
that's right.
And Smart Call, I thought, ran a cracking good race, and you can pick her up on the race. We're going to go and watch it from the start. Obviously, we'll go to the South African race.
Let's do the South African
Southern
race
Cross.
first.
Yeah, let's stick with the Southern Cross.
Yeah.
1,000 meters, look too sharp for Just Sensual. Let's go and see how she wins this. What a champion filly this is.
Poised to have a crack at her. Joe's Bond is deeper out. Gold Image right up the outside, back towards the inside. Green Plains is creeping closer. Shafug is racing in behind that. Sommerliet now sets out after the leader. That's Wrecking Ball as they come to the final 300, and Joe's Bond is coming home well towards the outside. Sommerliet now comes forward to pick it up. Joe's Bond along the outside. Just Sensual between runners is also trying to get into blow. They're plenty of chances. Joe's Bond comes to the front, close home. Hoist the mast over towards the inside. Is flying home. Just Sensual up the outside. It's going to be close. Here it comes. Desperately close. Hoist the mast and Just Sensual in a photo. We'll wait for confirmation from the judge. Too close to call.
Wow, that was a performance. Arthur Marcus at his best. I thought this filly patently wanted further.
There's no doubt she wants further, but you just watch Marcus gets her balance going through the 200, picks her up. She's a dynasty, bred by Claver Flay, owned by Mayfair speculators, and just on the Mayfair speculators things, they're a company, and I think things will carry on as normal.
Time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell.
Time
And
will
there's
tell.
lots of people going around making all types of inflammatory remarks.
Let's wait
but
and
Marcus
see.
Jooste has been unbelievable for South African racing, and we just want to say we hope it all works out from the start. But it works
We've
out
got
well.
top
for
horses, and we've got to
Yeah.
see them race.
Yeah.
This Just Sensual was terrific, and Andre Nel, I thought his horse was home. That was timed to perfection as well. It was a ding-dong finish.
What a win from Just Sensual. You know, when you look at her form, you would never, ever believe she could win 1,000. But she did. And this is a very good 1,000-meter race to win. The best fillies around running it. But let's now go to Hong Kong and talk about that. And we've obviously got the Vase we're going to show, which was the race that Smart Call ran in, and Highland Real bowed out with his 7th Group 1. What a horse he's turned out to be.
Joins them. They're set, ready. They're racing now in the Vase. And Talismanic began fast. Kaseki a little slow to get moving. Away quite well is Eagle Way with Helene Charisma, and Highland Real began nicely. Tosin Basil is also in a prominent spot from Danehill Kodiak, and then Chemical Charge. Tiberian getting back in the field along with Gold Mount. Smart Call has found the rail, and Kaseki's going to settle at the tail end of the field. It's Helene Charisma charging along under San Clipperton. A circuit of Chartin to go. Helene Charisma leads from Highland Real, who's gradually working his way into second. On the outside of Talismanic in third. Eagle Way running fourth, left without cover. A length away then to Danehill Kodiak on the outside of Max Dynamite. Tosin Basil's in the second part of the field, travelling on the outside of the 6-year-old South African mare Smart Call. Then Chemical Charge, Gold Mount settling third last. A length away to Tiberian, and 2 back last of all is Kaseki as they head into the back. 1,400 metres to go in the Longines Hong Kong Vase. And Helene Charisma shows the way. Highland Real creeping a little closer now. They're 2 lengths on Talismanic, who settled lovely in third. 2 back then to Chemical Charge on the outside of Eagle Way. 2 further back, Max Dynamite inside of Tosin Basil, who's settled nicely. The Japanese 3-year-old Kaseki, he's on the move around them, going around Chemical Charge, Smart Call. Tiberian gets onto his back, and Gold Mount is last of all. Highland Real now up outside of, as they sweep down the side of the course, Helene Charisma. 800 metres to go in the Vase. They're 2.5 clear from Talismanic, who's had a lovely sit in the race. Eagle Way's now pushing off the fence. Danehill Kodiak's under pressure. Kaseki's very wide. Tosin Basil starting to creep through. Then Max Dynamite getting well back. Tiberian and also Smart Call with Gold Mount. They come to the corner, and Highland Real now pushed on, takes the lead from Helene Charisma. Talismanic stalking. Then came Max Dynamite. Further out is Tosin Basil now winding up. Highland Real in front. He's vulnerable. Tosin Basil, Talismanic, they run to him. Then came Chemical Charge running a big race from Max Dynamite. Talismanic gets on terms with Highland Real. He won't surrender. Tosin Basil's run is coming to an end, but Irish eyes are smiling. Highland Real, what a fitting finale. Highland Real takes the Vase from Talismanic. Tosin Basil.
Well, there we go. Not a bad run by Smart Call. But the winner, James, Highland Real, tough as they come. And at the 27 starts, 10 wins in 9 seconds. It goes to stand at Coolmore now. It's going to be 17,500. It's half brother to Derby runner-up Idaho. Who knows, James?
Who knows? He'll either end up like Yates, or he'll end up like the other iron horse that I remember, Giant's Causeway. Yeah. Giant's Causeway is the same type of horse as this horse. They were tough as nails. They stayed like unwanted relatives, as you say. And he's tough. He beat the horse that beat him in the Breeders' Cup.
Talismanic beat him in the Breeders' Cup. He ran third that day. James earned £7.5 million.
Not possible, is
it? Sure, fantastic. There are other good runners in the day that we obviously, you did say the speed held up. Time Warp used to be, your old mate used to train it, James. Sir Mark. Yeah. Gone to Tony Cruz. That won the Group 1 in the day.
I was going to mention Time Warp because he's by Archie Penko. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, he's by Archie Penko. He's the 3rd Group 1 winner for Archie Penko. And he won the Cup with Zach Burton rode him, Tony Cruz trained him. But just talking about Mark Prescott, he sold that filly Marsha at the sales last week, 6 million guineas.
Gee, fantastic.
She won 2 Group 1. She won the Nunthorpe and the Prix de l'Abbé. And Mark is as good a trainer as there is anywhere in the world.
Who owned it?
It was owned by the Elite Racing Club.
Harry Herbert.
Yeah,
Harry Herbert runs
that. A whole bunch of the team owned this horse. And I think it was leased, from someone. And obviously it went through the sales ring, and whoever leased it got the money. But unbelievable filly. And MV Magna bought it. So they got in a protracted bidding duel, 6 million. That was the highest price on the sale.
James, we had some winners, some graduates from the Magic Millions. Let's have a look at them. Three
Yeah,
this
let's have
week.
a look at them. Three
Here
good
we
ones.
go. Silent Starship was the
Star Spangled Banner.
Star Spangled Banner. The Fox Wedge was the Rocket Man.
Yeah.
And Kimberley Club
He's a Lonhro,
was
isn't
the
he?
Lonhro, correct.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there were 3 this week from Magic Millions. They're graduates. Every week they come in and winning. What other news you got before we go look at this fortunate rider?
Well, there's a couple of bits of news. The one horrible news was San Louis Ray Downs fire, which
Jockey.
was too terrible. They lost 45 horses.
The one
It's
wouldn't leave
just-
her box. The one filly wouldn't leave her box.
It's-
James, I've been down there. I've been to San Louis Downs. You know, I worked in California. And it's about an hour and a half away from Hollywood Park.
Yeah.
And I went down there one day to have a look at it. It's beautiful, beautiful training centre.
centre.
And those fires came, and James, they just let them loose, eh? They let the horses
Well, that's
loose.
all you can do. You've
Yeah.
got to get them out the stalls.
And they
the
got
one
them back on the racecourse.
The one woman trainer, she's critical. She's got like 95% third-degree burns.
Yeah, shocking and
Horrifying.
terrifying. But the horses were let loose, and they ran. They caught them. They corralled them at the racecourse.
Yeah, no, very, very sad.
Very
indeed.
sad
And-
that, yeah.
And the people that have come to the party, I know that Uncle Mo's the principals, he had 2 Group 1 winners of the week, so he's really firing. And they gave a service to him to help those people, and so did the California Chrome people. So
Fantastic.
you know.
A
lot of people come to the party.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
come together, racing people. It's
Yeah.
one thing we share a bond.
Yeah, the other news story that I wanted to tell you was Hayley Turner. You know, the best the woman jockey that ever rode in Britain.
The
She
board
wasn't
are
as
on
good
her
as
case, yeah.
the BHA are on her case for having bets.
Because she's still registered as a jockey.
Have you seen?
She gave up
Have
riding.
you seen the bet she was
No,
having?
well, what size?
The biggest bet was about 18 pounds.
That's it.
Biggest bet.
I
was
think it'll be viewed leniently, James.
Well, that's absolutely ridiculous, you know. That rule is there to stop corruption.
Yeah.
This chick
This
is,
isn't
you know,
corrupt,
having
yeah.
a few bets on corruption.
Yeah, you know,
Nothing.
she'd given
And-
up because she retained her license.
Her
She fell
licence, yeah.
foul of the board.
I think it's she's got to go. They've got to just say to her, listen don't do
wrap
it
over
again
the
while you've got
knuckles,
them.
yeah.
But
Or get rid of the
you know,
licence.
you never know about these boards that run racing. You never know what they'll do. So let's hope that things work out for her. Are we going to have a look at this
Yes.
horse? And
Raymond's
then,
got
and then
this
we're going to be talking to Michelle Narek from
Sean Ray, the CEO.
yeah, the CEO. You're going to be are you popping some questions at him?
Absolutely.
About his footballing talents or his golf talents?
Neither of those.
Neither
No,
of
those aren't talents.
No.
Those are hindrances.
Although they tell me he's got plays with 27 clubs. Yeah,
In his
all
bag.
of them should be in the golfing Hall of Fame. Yeah, because they
You can shave with these clubs.
He could probably sell them for quite a lot of money. There's
That's
some
right.
antiques there.
And football?
And-
was your goalie for Mauritius or
No,
something?
there's no doubt. Yeah,
No doubt, yeah.
yeah. And they beat Bafana a few times.
And his team lost yesterday.
His team lost
Yeah,
yesterday.
so his mood could be good.
Don't mention the war, as they say. Let's go and have a look at what happened. That's been trending on the website, so you've probably seen it, but it is quite a fun clip.
What a recovery by Jack Kennedy. Here he's spotting the first time around on Robin Damana. Down he's come, totally gone as you would think. Looked like he'd no chance, he was going to drop off him. Hands never moved. And he eventually gets back on. And in typical Jack Kennedy fashion, cool as a cucumber. Here he goes, got right into the roots of the fence. You just see one of the legs stays in the near side iron, then he kicks himself out. And you think he'd absolutely no chance. And you see his right hand, he pulls the horse's head in.
Well, he went on to win the race.
Yes.
When you watch that, you're just not possible that he could have won it. And then, so now what's happened is a couple of others have come up, and we'll put them on This Shouldn't
Yeah.
Happen.
This
But
shouldn't happen. That's
we
right.
just thought that that
James,
was...
he's either drunk or suffers from severe vertigo because the guys next to him said, "What's wrong with this guy?" But he came back to win it.
Let me tell you, when those horses peck on landing,
They took
you got very little chance of holding on. How he hung around that horse's neck, because you know how strong you got to be to hold the horse's neck. You've ridden them, hold the horse's neck with your weight hanging here, and then get back on while the horse is galloping.
Do you know, James, just this last couple of weeks, they got a top rugby player and a top jockey to do tests for core muscles, for everything. And it was amazing how fit jockeys are today. They interviewed jockeys who'd gone on to become cyclists, who used to box when they're younger, and the exercises they do on their core and the sprinting up hills. It said jockeys today are so much fitter, and they're taught how to bounce now when they fall at the riding school, so they don't break things. And they got a top rugby player, I forget his name, from Saracens or something, and they did these tests together, where they got to hold themselves in the elbows, they got to go against a wall, and after 4 heavy ones, it was 2-2. Very close, you know. So it just
I
shows
would think the soccer players would all die with the jockeys. They'd have no chance. You sound fit, man. You're totally unfit.
The props look fit.
Around
I hope they got a prop to come around
for 8 kilometers, and that's right. And every now and again, kick the ball. They
8
and dive.
kilometers. Aren't you playing the second half?
You'd probably be better at falling off horses in the.
Show me a top soccer player.
Who have we got coming on the show just now?
Our goalie. Yeah, that's right, our goalie.
Look, let me just go put up the slide for the sale, because obviously this is the be all and end all of my life, and goodbye.
James, that's the High Chaparral winning.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. She shouldn't have even, she shouldn't even been there.
And she wants much further, eh?
Yeah, she's got the pedigree to go a lot further. Anyway,
all right,
let's have a look and see what happens. By next Monday, I'll either be in the Betsy, which probably.
You still have the car?
Yeah, in the Betsy. You know where the Betsy?
You call the car the Betsy?
Yeah.
No. The Betsy for Voet.
Yeah, for the mentally impaired.
Yeah.
It will be. Anyway, I'll leave you to some other people that should be in the Betsy. Enjoy the interview, and we'll be back next week.
Hello, welcome back. It's time for your call, and as James and I alluded to, we've got the CEO of Gold Circle, Michel Narek, to come through and talk to us. Some interesting developments lately, but he's the man to tell us all about it. Michel, thanks very much for coming in. We've just had our AGM. Tell us developments from that.
Yeah, we just had the AGM last week, Paul. We posted our results for the year to the 31st of July. As we announced to members regularly across the year, this year was a difficult year. We were taken by surprise by a sharp drop in the totalizated turnovers. The drop ended up close to 10%, 9.8 for the year on year. Fortunately, we put a strategy in place to actually reverse this. It came at a high human cost, unfortunately, across the company, right from the top to the bottom. We had retrenchments of some 238 people.
When you say from the top to the bottom, is that literally from
the executive? We shrunk the executive by 20%. We shrunk the management team by 9 members. We shrunk everybody. The bulk of the cost cuttings were, in terms of retrenchments, were done at the outlet level. That was the bigger number. We reduced our number of outlets in the field, of those that were no longer profitable, and we outsourced a few departments. We are nearly complete with that exercise. We're still negotiating with the outsource of a couple of departments, but we should be finished within the next 3 months. But what we've done is that we've provided for those retrenchments in the past financial year, 31st of July. So we ended the year with a loss of about 12 million rand, including those retrenchment costs. and put a turnaround strategy in place immediately, and very grateful that the strategy approved by the board has borne fruit, because we've at the same time at the AGM posted our first quarter results, and we're trading 11 million rand better than budget bottom line, which is a very quick turnaround. We're going to recover all our retrenchment costs within a year, and the future looks good. We've been able to increase stakes from the 1st of November, so at the moment the trends are good, and this time we've factored in a decrease in the tote, which is currently contributing 43% of our revenues, and we had budgeted, for a decrease, but not as big as we had last year. So this year we budgeted for a 7% reduction and trimmed the business accordingly. Obviously, all this comes at the cost of service delivery. As you will have noticed on course, we have far less tote operators than we used to have. It's just that it's not economical to have one tote operator servicing one or two individuals. We have to consolidate, and asking people to use the facilities like the telephone or the internet to do their betting on course. It's a wide infrastructure to cover. So these are the measures we put in.
Michelle, what caused the sudden turnaround of profit?
It's not the profit, it's the tote turnover that suddenly started dropping as from August last year.
Above budget, we over 10 million above budget. Where did that come from?
The turnaround in terms of our strategy has come from 2 or 3 different factors. Obviously, cost cutting.
Yes.
That's a great contributor. Only our salary bill, we're saving 18 million year on year. There's also the improvements in the trading of our investments. We've done very well the first quarter of this year in investments. Last year was not a very good year for investments. And finally, the international operations, which is run by Rihanna Plessis and John Stewart, and we are extremely grateful to them. They've done much better than we had expected in terms of budget for the first quarter as well. So these are the 3 main items that have contributed to the turnaround. But as I said, we had budgeted to make a loss of 1 million for the first quarter. We actually made a profit of 12, so so it's about an 11 million.
That's very good news.
Of 10, sorry, which makes 11 million profit. From the board's perspective, not too many changes, fortunately.
After the AGM, you put your board together.
We have the board to re-elect our officials, so hardly any changes. The only major change is Sara Naidu has left us. He's got huge commitments at the local government level, and he can't devote the time to Gold Circle. And we have appointed as a CFO Candice Pillay. She's taken over from Stuart Gardner. Stuart came in when Donovan resigned. Donovan Moses came in for a few months to help us, and he's now leaving us. And Candice has been promoted in that position. That's a board appointment which will be effective immediately. She takes her functions on the 1st of April, which gives Stuart a good 3 months lag to actually hand over the running of the accounting department. We're very confident that there will be no hiccups, and obviously we are busy recruiting to fill Candice's gap when she gets the promotion.
The chair lady retained her position. The vice chairman,
correct. Pumla remains the chair. She's been a fantastic chairperson for us. Moses Tambe retains the vice chair. All our committees have remained all the same. There's been no change. The club is still chaired by Neil Butcher, and the vice chair is still Babu Noonan there. So no changes. It's good for continuity. It gives us confidence to go into the future with not too much disruption. So overall, very pleased with the turnaround. I think the board has been very good in the adoption of the restructure model that we've put in place, and it's already bearing fruit.
Just last time we spoke, Michelle, we were taking a bit of flack about the tracks. I think you got more positive news now. It looks very good. I know it's not the critical time of the year, but it looks good.
Yeah, so far, touch wood, everything worked to plan. We put a lot of resources to the tracks. The Peter Randburg turf trap reopened after spring treatment 10 days ago, and it's been only but complemented on by everybody across the board: jockeys, trainers, owners. Greyville has held up very well. We're having 5 race meetings at the Greyville track this month before we
on the turf.
We got 13 meetings altogether in the month of December. and they're going to be 5 on the gravel grass track. And then we're going to do our mini spring break in January, February to prepare the track for the season. But as you say, the critical period will be the winter season. And if the weather gods play with us, hopefully everything will be 100%. But so far so good, Paul, very happy.
We're talking about weather gods. They've been really giving this province a backlash. And the extension of the poly has been a major success because we've been able to race through those rainy days.
Absolutely. You know, we've survived the rainy days. You know, the pull-up area was always a problem where the poly and the turf met. So we extended the poly by 100 meters during the break now. And that's worked very well because by then 90% of the horses are pulled up, there's no issues. And because it's on a bit of a downhill at the pull-up, the water that would accumulate in between the two runs off to the drains. So everything so far, touch wood from a track perspective, has been absolutely 100%.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, Michelle, there was a Sunday Times article out yesterday.
Sunday Tribune. Yeah.
Sorry, Sunday, let me get it right. Sunday Tribune, and the Sunday Tribune article got front page exposure that Gold Circle must transform. Now, the writer of the article did interview you as well. I didn't see much from you except a few stats.
Yeah, unfortunately, the response that I gave in writing and verbally to the reporter was trimmed quite considerably. The reality, all this stems from quite an anomaly in the racing circle. We have to reapply for a racecourse operator and a totalizator license every year to the gambling board.
Every year?
Every year. And it's quite nonsensical when you see that casinos have got 15-year license and we are in the same boat with hundreds of millions of investment into infrastructure and we've got to reapply for license every year. But that's the way it is. That's the law. It's a legacy of the past when it was the only game in town. And so we have to do that application for renewal in October. And invariably, when we apply for renewal, there are objections raised to the renewals.
Let's talk about the objections, because it's a stumbling block. Racing stops if the gaming board feels that we've contravened.
Correct. They've got until the 31st of March in terms of the regulations of the amendment bill that came through in October to renew our licenses. So obviously right now they're dealing with 3 objections. There have been so far 3 objections.
Let's handle them. Let's talk about them if you don't mind, because the public out there need to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's start off firstly with the groom's man, is Mr. Samoto.
Yeah,
now, he's been banging this drum for many years.
Correct. The first objection received by the KZN Gambling Board was one from the South African Bookmakers Association.
Okay.
They have systematically for the past 3 years lodged an objection in terms of market dominance. They're saying that because we've got 120 outlets in the province, we've got market dominance. So
120 outlets, just explain to the layman what that means.
Yeah, we've got 120 betting shops across the province, of which about 40 are branches and the rest are agencies, tote agencies. And so they
Why would they object against a tote? They're bookmakers.
They're bookmakers and they see us as competition. We don't see competition between the tote and the bookmakers. We see that both products enhance the value of both. But be that as it may, they've lodged an objection, and the Gambling Board has got to obviously respond and look at the objection. So they ask us for what we feel about the objection. We put a written response in.
Is this an annual thing?
It's been for the past 3 years, but the bookmakers are not asking the Bookmakers Association, the South African Bookmakers Association, because it's not all the bookmakers. And let's be very clear. They're not objecting to the renewal of the license. They would like a condition imposed on the license, which forces us to give Teletrack to the bookmakers. And if we cannot, because we don't own Teletrack, as you know, if we cannot give Teletrack, then we also must not have the use to Teletrack. So if they can't have it, we can't have it.
That's strange.
Yeah, that's their objection. So we've responded to that objection. We have sent our documentation.
And you've won it every year.
Well, winning is not winning or losing. It's not the term to use. The gambling boards have looked at and every year it changes a little bit. The objections change depending on the circumstances and depending on the process of the court cases between the bookmakers and Teletrack. So this is not a request to stop us from trading, it's a request to impose a condition upon us. So we put our response in, and the Gambling Board is obviously looking at it at the moment.
And sorry, this all comes to fruition in March, you say? I thought it was sooner than that.
Yeah, 31st of March, the amendment bill to the KZN Gaming and Betting Act came through in October, and it's extended the period of license renewal to the 31st of March. So the Gambling Board has got until then to decide to renew or not
Okay, so they were first.
They were
the
first.
group of bookmakers. But as you say, there are some friendly bookmakers, if I can use that term.
Correct. Yeah, there are some we term them racing-friendly bookmakers
Yes.
that did not object,
Okay.
and there's many of them.
Right, let's go. That's point one. Let's go to
The
point
second
two.
objection came from an association called the South African Grooms Association, which is run by Mr. Simoto. He's objected to the renewal on the license on the basis that, in his opinion, we haven't met the conditions set by the Act for Transformation. So that's the basis of his objection. There again, it's not the first time he has objected, it's about the third time. But the reality, Paul, as you know, is that as a company, we pride ourselves in our transformation achievements. We have been rated 3 under the new codes, and we have met every single criterion that's been set by not only the KZN Gaming Board, which regulates us, but also the national law.
Yes.
On black economic empowerment. So every single category that we have to meet, we meet, and we set ourselves stiffer targets. You well know, sitting on our board, that the majority of our board members are from previously disadvantaged background. And at our executive level, the majority again from previously disadvantaged background. At our management level, the same. The percentages are very high. And when you look at the total employment factor at Gold Circle, 94% of our employees are from previously disadvantaged backgrounds. So to say that we haven't met the criterion is absolutely false. The other problem from that application is that Mr. Simoto has failed to prove that he's got any membership in KZN. So it is very strange that he would object to a license where he's got no members. As you know,
does it cost you to object?
The cost is obviously the legal experts that you employ to actually look at the paperwork that we prepare. So the cost is there's not the renewal fee itself is not big. It's every year we pay the fee set by the board, but the time and effort that you spend in responding to objections, this is the direct cost. And I can't estimate it for you right now, but it's a substantial sum of money, but it's not.
Our litigation bills.
Yeah, the litigation bills that comes afterwards if we have to go to court and things like this. So basically now it's just putting our responses to the attorneys to look at to make sure that we don't say anything that's wrong. But our concern about the what they call SAGA, South African Grooms Association, objection is that he's got no members. We've got a recognition threshold for stakeholders in Gold Circle, which is at 30% recognition. So if anybody can prove that they've got 30% representation of any grouping of stakeholders for that matter, it doesn't matter who they are, we will recognize them and we will engage with them. This is this was set by our new chair at one of the first board meetings that she chaired. So Mr. Simoto hasn't proved that he's got that recognition level. The only grouping to represent grooms that has proved that is actually AMCU at Summerveld, who has got more than 30% of the grooms recognized. And we engage with them because that's our recognition level. Having said this, as you know, we don't employ grooms. The grooms are employed by trainers.
That's right.
But we go out of our way to help. We provide them with accommodation, we provide them with electricity and water. That is Gold Circle doing what it doesn't have to do.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we send doctors every week to training centers to provide for medical care if the grooms need anything. All out of our goodwill, of our wanting to do things. We organize events for them.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Now, what about the last leg of that paper?
The last objection was lodged by Mr. Anil Maharaj, representing a group called African. He has lodged an objection which by email to the Gambling Board, but he hasn't listed any reasons. And I think that's what has been picked up by the reporter in the newspaper, is that he has asked for a hearing himself to be able to give his objections verbally to the board. Now, Anil Maharaj has been embroiled with us in litigation for years. He has sued not only Gold Circle, but he first sued the NHA. He's also sued the gambling board itself. And recently, he won an appeal. Now, he had sued us in the Equality Court before on the basis that we refused to give him boxes at Summerfield. And the reason why we did that was because we were racist. It was actually discrimination, racial discrimination. We obviously went to the court, argued the point that we are not racial. We don't discriminate on the basis of race. We are not racists. We won the case. He came again in 2013 to the same Equality Court and wanted to lodge a complaint, which the magistrate ruled was actually had been dealt with before, yeah. and he gave the order of res judicata, which is saying it's already been heard. So he took this to the appeal board in the High Court in Pietermaritzburg, and the appeal board judged that the magistrate erred, that he should hear the case again. So that hasn't happened, obviously. We have lodged a leave to appeal this judgment, but the magistrate has been ordered by the court to hear the case again by the appeal court. So that's where we are. So he hasn't won a case, he's won an appeal to have the right to have the case heard, which we obviously are objecting to. That is the crux of the matter. And I think
we just the headline was just really sensationalism. We're completely in order with our transformation, the pillars of transformation.
We've got nothing to be ashamed of. We do everything that we're told to do, and on top of that, we go beyond, above and beyond. And you see for yourself, we are totally integrated as far as the model is concerned. Clearly, there are areas where I've got no influence. We cannot force people from any race group or any denomination to actually invest in horses. I mean, This is a choice that everybody has. And when you look at the horse ownership profiles in KZN, it's probably 50-50 Indian and white. But this is a choice that everybody does with their leisure money.
Yeah.
We can't force people from other races to buy racehorses or enjoy a hobby that we all love. It's way beyond our control.
Mm. Well, Michelle, that sort of sums it up. At least people know where we stand, and it's obviously good news that the trading's turned around.
Yes, I'm very happy with the progress of the company, obviously, very happy with the restructure. It's working very well. The outsourcing of certain departments has helped us tremendously from a cost-cutting exercise. And we're now meaner and leaner, but unfortunately, the direct negative of this is service delivery is going to be affected. Mm-hmm. To a certain extent, the nice things that we used to provide before have to be cut down.
Michelle, thanks very much. It's always good to get you in here and get an update. Thanks very much for your time.
It's a pleasure.
There we go. Michelle Narak, the CEO of Gold Circle, telling it like it is. We'll see you next week.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.